Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I'm your host, Joe Zolo. This is the one show, I think, a year where we celebrate losers. Yeah. The losers that fucked you over in the 2025 fantasy football season. So they were supposed to be good, and they gave us the double birds, and us being fantasy football managers that they don't give two shits about. And they made us really upset. And now we get to talk about them, and we get to tell you who really upset us. And just in general, we'd love to hear your thoughts too. But this is a very fun show talking about the losers, the LVPs of the 2025 fantasy football season. Let's get into it. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I'm your host, Joe Zolo. Three amigos here for the offseason. What's up, guys?
Yo.
Great weekend for one of us in the playoffs.
I kind of like, I was trying to hype myself up that, we can beat San Francisco. Shanahan sucks against Fangio, blah, blah, blah. I've been saying for 3 months that Philly was going to be a one and done playoff team.
You did.
And that's exactly what happened. So am I surprised? No. But as far as I'm concerned, Philly won on Tuesday because finally he's gone. Kevin Patullo fired. All's good.
No. Not fired. He's
no longer the play caller.
He's being moved around within the organization. He's not fired.
Too friendly with the head coach to
yes.
get fired. So
like somebody else who also wasn't fired, but we'll get to that here in a second. So remember to like, subscribe on YouTube, on the poll and the Tiffy. That's Apple and Spotify if you use their government names. Any other podcast platform, hit the follow button. Super chat. If you somehow have a fantasy football question on January 14th, please call the gambling hotline. I don't know the number, but you should probably do that. But we will answer it. And if you really wanted to jump it to the top of the queue, we will answer that for you. And be sure to hop on the Discord as well. Again, this is a year-round show and platform. We do not take the off season off. The off season is in season for the Club Fantasy folks here. So we're always there for you. Quick news and notes. The Chargers fired Greg Roman. That was a firing. Well, the Eagles did something with Kevin Patullo. I think they
stripped him of play calling duty. So as far as I'm concerned, he's fired.
They said, thanks for your service, but still kept you in the organization. And then another guy that was fired, but because the Pittsburgh Steelers need to uphold their reputation of never firing a head coach, Mike Tomlin stepped down as the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. I've never known Mike Tomlin to step down from anything, so this is bullshit. But anyways,
I think there's some credence.
No validity to it. Shut up.
No, I think there's some. And the only reason I say that is just, I mean, look, Pittsburgh Steelers give all their head coaches tenure. They leave on their own terms, quote unquote, right? Like they're going to give suggestions. Hey, you know what? Maybe it's time we part ways, blah, 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 whatever, right? But with the way that this season is gone, and especially the way the last few seasons have gone, trying to replace Big Ben, whiffing on Kenny Pickett, bringing in all the different veterans, et cetera, I think tensions just have worn on Mike Tomlin, that even if he wasn't suggested to be fired, he would have just stepped down anyway. That's why I say there's maybe a smidge that this is actually true, but I still think it's a mutual parting of ways more than anything in the long run.
He was fired.
Whatever you need to tell yourself, Joe.
That's so what happened. You don't lose 7 straight playoff games and step down.
When a Pittsburgh Steelers head coach has never coached for less than 15 years, again, you do what the fuck you want to do.
We have this debate every year. He's
he
a
was
good
fired.
head coach.
He's a fine head coach. Can't get past the
Mike-
first round of the
Mike
playoffs.
Tomlin was not the problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I agree with that statement.
But
the problem,
we said the same thing about Harbaugh, though. And we've said it about Andy Reid. The message gets old. The AFC North is a new division all of a sudden. So.
Yeah, and I still can't believe the only guy
Taylor.
left standing is Zach Taylor.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Arguably the worst coach in the entire division.
Yeah.
Maybe not arguably.
Of the 4 that were there last year, I would agree. I would say Zach Taylor. If you were to put any of the other 3 coaches in that division on the Bengals, they are an automatic playoff team. Better team immediately. It's not even a question.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's by far the worst.
Yeah.
He's by far the worst. NFL draft news. I don't know why this needed to be on SportsCenter and broadcasted. You are the quarterback of a team that can't even make the college football championship, gets ass blasted by Indiana in the semifinals, but you have to go on SportsCenter to make a LeBron-like announcement. Who the fuck is Dante Moore? Who the fuck are you?
Would have been the second overall
He
pick
would have been the second
that
overall
he
pick.
declared.
Yeah.
Congratulations. The second overall pick in a shitty quarterback draft.
I mean, that's still you're
got
talking
shittier.
about almost $50 million guaranteed.
Hey.
You know,
The money's the money.
Yeah.
Good for him. Well, actually, not good for him. He turned it the fuck down. Good for him.
Yeah.
When he does,
Would you want to collect that plane for the fucking Jets? No.
$50 million? Yeah, put me on any fucking team you want.
Friend of mine who's
Put me on the 0-16 Lions. I'll collect $50 fucking million.
a friend of mine
you.
who's a Jets fan said we can do this all decade.
I saw someone tweet. It's like, if you're not with us when you're 3-14, don't be with us when we're 3-14. It's like, Dante, what do you expect next year, buddy?
Yeah.
What do you expect? I'm going to take a wild guess and say the Jets are not drafting a quarterback. So what are you expecting?
Just as bad, yeah. No, it's definitely interesting. I mean, and the reason I wanted to include this, like, I know we're not like a big draft show by any means. Like, you guys don't pay a ton of attention to college
Hilariously, I just updated my dynasty rankings over on Football Guys and added more today.
Okay.
And then an
Well, now you
hour
gotta pull
later, had to go in and pull him.
Yeah. But like, as I mentioned, like, he was projected to be the second quarterback off the board. You take Dante Moore out of this class, it's Fernando Mendoza or bust. Like, Ty Simpson declared. There was rumors that even Miami was trying to throw, a bunch of NIL money at him to try to convince him to like come to Miami versus going to the draft. But I don't know how true those rumors are. But regardless, but now you're looking at a situation where a bad quarterback could get pushed off the board. And I don't even want to say a bad quarterback. Ty Simpson's just unprepared. This is essentially what Ty Simpson should be doing, what Dante Moore did. He should go back to school and get more reps. He's hasn't started. I think this was the only year that he actually started. So we're talking about 14 career starts. That's not how these guys succeed in the NFL. You need a plethora of starts. I mean, just look at Trevor Lawrence, how much he struggled when he first got in the league, and he started over 50 career college football games.
Yeah.
Going to these bad franchises, that's what you ultimately end up doing. You need to prepare yourself as best as possible. Ty Simpson is setting himself up for a decent payday, but a failure of a career.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of mock drafts have him going kind of in that middle of the first round, because he's not worthy of a top 5, top 10 pick. But some teams have the Rams taking him because they have a second first round pick and they can just stash him behind, Matthew Stafford potentially if he comes back, which ultimately would probably be the best thing for somebody like Ty Simpson. But like, again, you're just kind of setting yourself up for shit. I'm going to bomb this career. But now the question begs, what the fuck are the Jets going to do? Because you have no quarterback because Justin Fields is terrible. There's so much to dive into when it comes to this.
You're going to lose again next year.
Yeah, I mean, now, well, again, you're forced to enter that veteran free agent market. Do you try to pull in Kyler Murray? Do you go and take a risk on someone like Malik Willis? Do you go after Kirk Cousins? There's so many things that you could do, but at the end of the day, you get to build your team and then find the quarterback. That's exactly what the Lions did. The Lions built their team, traded for Goff. That's how they were able to get these pieces. Their front office, Aaron Glenn, they all came from the Lions organization. So maybe this is the blessing in disguise that they needed. I don't know. At the end of the day, they got to make the right picks, but
all I know is that there's a team in their division with a former top 5 pick that is probably not starting for his team next year.
If the contract worked, I was thinking the exact same thing.
Well, then thank you, New York, for another 2 free wins.
Yeah, it's just, Josh, you kind of pieced everything together for me. I was thinking Tua Tagovailoa the whole time, and then you brought up the Lions, and I'm not saying Tua is anywhere near Jared Goff, but the Lions didn't build their team through the draft. They built their team through acquiring a quarterback. And
they built a team via the draft,
they completed,
because also too, if you think about it, or if you remember correctly, they got Goff and 2 first-round picks for Stafford.
Pretty good.
Like, you're not getting 2 picks.
Joe Ortiz brings up an interesting point about the Raiders trading back. When you look at the pieces, this sounds ridiculous. The Jets have more pieces in place than the Raiders do, if you believe Mendoza's the truth. I just don't know that Mendoza comes in and fixes the Jets right away either, though. So
it's not fixing any of those teams.
That's true too.
No, but if you were to take the quarterback out of the equation of everything, the Jets have a true number 1 wide receiver, a very good running back,
a good backup running back,
a good running back tandem. If you want to believe in, AD Mitchell is a deep threat, and we love John Mechie on this show.
Yep.
And it looks like Mason Taylor is pretty good.
Showed flashes, exactly.
And the graphic that the Jets tweeted, they are the only offensive line to start all 17 games together. So shout out. They're not good, but they started all 17 games together.
They're consistently bad.
They're consistent.
I think it's poor coaching too. I mean, when you have that
Aaron
much,
Glenn,
they've got. No, I agree. I'm not a big Aaron Glenn fan, and their OC that they brought over from the Lions.
Well, Josh, you hit that on the head. Is these are not the types of OCs these guys should be bringing in. These defensive head coaches don't bring in weird retreads who haven't called plays.
Well, Engstrom's not really a retread. I mean, he was being developed under Ben Johnson.
I didn't mean to say retread, but that's what I meant. Weird proteges was the word I was looking for there, who haven't called plays. Like, it's just, it's not the right move. If you are the defensive head coach, you need an established, intelligent offensive coordinator.
I agree.
Josh McDaniels.
Precisely.
There you go.
I need them to win so bad this week, so I can just come on the show next week and say, oh, the schedule really affected Drake May and his MVP campaign, didn't it?
Joe, before we get to any of the other questions, I want to bring this one up from Joseph. Yes, I absolutely would love Mike McDaniel as the OC in Philly. I will be honest with you, though. I don't know how much his style of calling plays would work with Jalen Hurts. That's my question, I think.
Good news is AJ Brown's not going to run any more hitch routes. So
that's the other thing. Yeah.
He'll just be running go routes that Jalen Hurts won't throw to him.
Correct. Well,
Jalen Hurts has no problem throwing go routes.
Well, did you guys see the stat about Juwan Jennings, Justin Herbert, and Jalen Hurts? Juwan Jennings had as many 15-yard air yard passes.
But again, you're not going to have a ton of air yards when all you're running are fucking hitch routes. Like, I mean, that's the biggest problem. Like, people want to sit here and talk about how bad Jalen Hurts has been. It's a product of this shitty ass system.
100%.
If all you're running is fucking hitch routes, you're not taking shots down the field. You're not getting yards after the catch. It's just fucking terrible.
I thought that was a hilarious stat. I thought that was just a well put together statistic out there. I think that was great. Okay. Is now the time to sell Achane. And what kind of offer would you look if I was wide receiver needy? Assuming this is dynasty.
Yeah.
If I'm contending, you're pulling Achane from my cold dead hands.
I was going to say,
I would need a life-changing offer on a contending team.
I would need 2 starting wide receivers,
or a top 10 wide receiver and a pick. Like,
I would go top 10 receiver, top 30 receiver, and a pick.
Yeah.
Maybe even 2 picks.
If you're holding Achane on a team that probably needs to tank, go get Nabers and a first. That's what I would do.
Go get Nabers and 2 firsts. What's it?
You're not getting 2 firsts. I can tell you that. Not
Yeah,
with Nabers. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that look at Nabers as a top 5.
I don't think you're getting Nabers in a 1. Just saying.
Hey, he has Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, Devon Achane, and Jahmyr Gibbs.
So I get being wide receiver.
Need him technically.
This is. I think this was. I confuse my advice sometimes. So I think this is a me and Josh advice thing from one of our shows. If you can start all 4 of those running backs, you are not wide receiver needy. Don't look at yourself as I have to trade one of these running backs so I can finally start a wide receiver. You're just in the exact same position, except probably worse off unless you got an elite guy for Achane. So if you can start all 4 every week, do not force the trade. And if you're forcing the trade CMC in Dynasty. You don't trade the younger running.
Correct. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, your CMC's on a time, like he's on the clock.
Father time wins.
And he's going to be 30 next year. His yards per carry plummeted. You're banking on receptions at this point.
Yeah.
And going based off of his patterns, next year's going to suck.
Terrible.
Yeah. Correct.
Next year's going to be terrible.
I don't know what you would get for
they'll probably give him the Madden cover again.
I think. But honestly, you know what though? I buy low on BTJ. He's going to come up a lot this year or in this episode. Go get BTJ
Lad
or Lad McConkey. That'd be another guy. Buy low. Justin Jefferson. I can't get rid of him in Dynasty. If somebody wants CMC, see if they'll give you Justin Jefferson back.
But yeah, don't force the trade is all I'm saying. But turning CMC into a young wide receiver, that is a good Dynasty move. And Josh brought up JJ. You might be able to get Jefferson and a 2 for CMC if the owner's feeling that. So someone just got 2 1s for him.
That was
in the offseason. In the offseason.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
I assume I assume we meant this offseason.
No.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, he's able to start all 4, which is good.
Yeah, don't force the trade, but you want to trade your older asset, not your younger asset.
Yeah. And plus, if you can start all 4 in your starting wide receivers, like wide receiver 20,
it all balances out.
You're chilling. Your wide receiver might only score 12 points that week, but guess what your running backs are doing?
We say it every week, and it goes doubly for Dynasty in your rookie drafts. A lot easier to find a wide receiver than it is a running back.
So much easier to do that. Okay. Fantasy LVPs, qualifications here. We have basically 3 categories. Injury. That's pretty self-explanatory. Don't need to dive into that one. ADP. Drafted highly, no production or little production. And then unrealized potential. Who'd you expect to have a great statistical year because of the offense they were in and the opportunity ahead of them? Spoiler, there's a lot. Injury bug. I'm going to fly through these. Joe Burrow, Jayden Daniels, tweaked. Kyler Murray, dog shit. Michael Penix, he has no knees. His knees are non-existent. Cam Scattaboo, RIP, man. He's not dead, but he might as well be with the brain that he has.
I love how you always say that after saying RIP.
He's not dead, but he's the closest thing to RIP I've ever said on this show. He's the closest thing to it. Omarion Hampton missed half the season. Bucky Irving missed 7 along with J.K. Dobbins. James Conner. Bye. Alvin Kamara. Old. Austin Eckler. Joe Mixon. Missed everything, guys. We told you not to draft him. Please watch the show more. Malik Nabers. Tell your friends. Malik Nabers missed 13. Garrett Wilson, 10. Leading receiver on the Jets, though. So how bad was he really? Tyreek Hill missed 13. McLaurin half the season. Mike Evans half the season. Ricky Pearsall in those electromagnetic fields in San Francisco, 9. Ayuk.
Jeez.
I'm looking into the camera. Who's been telling you this since he signed his fucking contract?
Yeah.
Wonder. Chris Godwin, 8. Jaden Reed, Calvin Ridley, 10. Marvin Harrison. He's just bad. Travis Hunter missed 10. And then 2 tight ends, Sam Laporta, Dalton Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid also had a symptom called ghost and just wasn't around most of the time. We'll touch on a couple here. We'll start with Jayden Daniels. That one obviously is the big one from the jump from rookie year to year 2, and then talk about a sophomore slump that we obviously did not see coming with injury.
Yeah, Daniels may come up in some other categories I don't remember, but I wanted to really just hit on the injury, mainly because this was a major concern his rookie year. And I feel like sometimes we get complacent as fantasy managers that because a guy has one healthy season, we're like, oh, I don't have to worry about this anymore. When you are a slight build rushing quarterback, shit like this happens. And then, of course, I went on my soapbox when this happened. You bring him back and he immediately gets hurt again. Terrible management by Washington. But I wanted to just really ask you two, heading into next season, are we throwing injury concerns around Jayden Daniels just permanently now because of the nature of his game?
I mean, I'm not personally.
Because I am, and that's who I am as a person.
That's fair.
So.
I'm one of those, like, I'm going to take one season as one season and that's it. You start repeating, then you start getting patterns and it becomes less of a coincidence. But, it's the same thing with, like, CMC, right? Like the first time that he gets hurt after the heavy workload, it's like, well, CMC. Look. Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying.
I
like,
know him.
You're just like, all right, cool. Yeah, it was one season. All right. He bounces back, has a great year. All right, cool. We're all back. We buy in because we know the upside. Well, then it gets hurt again. And it's like, okay, well, maybe this is a legitimate problem because he just worked too hard, those first 4 years of his career, whatever it was.
Tommy had something to say about
that. Was
Daniels,
amazing.
Apparently too.
So I couldn't figure out what was going on at first. I was like, wait, is that a cat?
I was waiting for him to move. He didn't move. So I guess I can say my words now.
Josh, you bring up an interesting point, though. With CMC, I'm willing to take that gamble because of the running back position. Mm-hmm. With Daniels, I have so many pivot points at quarterback. He's not worth the risk to me.
No, and that's 100% fair. I mean, I'm probably not going out of my way to draft him in a 1 QB simply because let it be somebody else's problem, and maybe I can trade for him if things go really well. But if we're talking like in Superflex or we're talking Dynasty, like of course I'm buying in. Like you got to yank my fucking arm off for me not to. Like it's just not it. Like
yank it, baby. Yank it. Anyways, Malik Nabers, 13 games. Great IHOP commercial, though.
Oh, my God. That's fantastic.
Way to steer into that skid.
So great IHOP commercial.
Not going to lie. That commercial, I was just like, man, I really want to hate you for doing this. But, I mean, really, this just boils down to, look, we had so many high hopes for Nabers, coming in wide receiver 14 in points per game out of 3+ games. It was built on one big game against Dallas. He had a startable game against Washington. It's really hard for me to like judge based on like, oh, what could have been on a 3+ game sample size, especially with how much the offense shifted once Jackson Dart came in. Like we got the gunslinging from Russell Wilson and from Jameis Winston. But Jackson Dart, they were a lot more methodical. They ran the ball a shit ton more. We saw how much they were using Cam Scatterbo. And then they didn't really have that kind of like deep downfield threat without Nabers. Like they utilized Wan'Dale Robinson as much as they could in that kind of role. But when you're talking talent, Wan'Dale Robinson versus Malik Nabers, like there's just a big difference. So
is there?
Yes, there is. But when I look at Nabers, looking ahead, I'm skeptical because obviously we saw the upside with 2024, his rookie season, 170 targets. He commands targets. If he plays and he's healthy, he's going to go out there and he's going to command targets and he's going to be productive. But he suffered a really bad knee injury. Yeah. Guess who also suffered a really bad knee injury? We saw how much it affected.
Peterson.
Well, okay.
Michael Penix.
Adrian Peterson is a freaking Greek god. Malik Nabers is a stick. There's a big difference here. But look at Javonte Williams after he tore up his knee. It
Yeah.
took him almost 4 years to get back to where even resembling what he was out of college. Brandon Ayuk missed the literal entire season this year. Maybe Nabers falls somewhere in between, but I don't know how you can go into 2026 looking at Malik Nabers and saying, yeah, I'm going to get a full season and I'm going to get rookie of the year production and he's going to be a top 10 guy.
I just think there was a lot of goodwill built by the funness of the Giants offense because
I agree.
So he's going to be highly drafted. I do not see us getting any sort of injury discount on Malik Nabers, and I share some of your concerns there.
I'm never drafting him, so this doesn't affect me.
Yeah, Joe isn't paying a top 3 pick for a wide receiver. So.
No. I'm not drafting Malik Nabers, so this doesn't affect unless he falls to the 3rd round. Malik Nabers will never see the light.
And that's where I think he gets interesting is if he falls to the 3rd and then he becomes this injury value, but I don't see it happening.
Where Ryan, because I know you've already done your
I was gonna say I'm
early rankings, like, and I'm trying to remember where he went in our way too early mock, but
I might be able to find that too.
So I would be hard
my
pressed
rankings
to put him inside my top 30 right now, quite honestly.
I put him at 13, so I'm sitting here saying I wouldn't spend the pick on him, but I disagree with my own rankings. And then I probably drafted him in the way too early mock, but I'll take a look real quick. Give me just 2 last seconds.
Well, you had 3 teams, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Nabers went not by me, pick 12 to Caesar.
Caesar.
Not where I would have went with that, but okay.
Caesar. You'll watch this show more, bud.
But again, that was kind of in line with my rankings when I put everything together. But again, now I've done 0 projections. This is straight up gut rankings. But again, it makes me question my own rankings. So.
Yeah,
I love Caesar. Oh, we hate Malik. We wouldn't take him with a 1-2 turn. Caesar, fuck you both. 12.
I will say this, though. He's going to come up later in the show. The chat is going rabid for him. Josh, do you remember in last year's way too early mock where I called out Brian Thomas Jr. going too early and the chat fucking skewered me? And I was like, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I was right, bitch.
I should have listened to you.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Brian Thomas Jr. was great this year.
It was the way too early mock, and I caught some shit.
All right. Well, moving off of the injury bugs here, because as we always say, we can never project injury.
I want to throw one thing out real quick because I know we're going to move on, but I was going to bring up about Bucky Irving. We brought it up on multiple episodes. The piss poor use of the IR this season needs to be studied. I don't understand what Tampa Bay and San Francisco did, and I hate it. And while Brock Purdy didn't necessarily make this list, Bucky Irving screwed over fantasy managers this year. And by that, I mean the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You were never able to place him on your IR, and he was not that good when he came back. So
yeah, I was going to say, at least Purdy, like when he came back,
balled
he was
out.
good,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah,
Purdy
Bucky was a big whiff.
Bucky was. That's what he was.
But my bigger issue with this is the IR. Just throwing that out there. So.
I would agree with that.
Hey guys, all I'm saying is one person on the show did tell you to avoid Bucky Irving, and he happens to be the guy that knows when to draft running backs. I'm just throwing that out there.
That's fair.
I'm just putting that out there.
As right as I was about Brian Thomas Jr. is as wrong as I was about Bucky Irving. I think I had him as my RB5. So
I'm just saying, was not a Bucky guy. Worst value. We love this one. Yeah. This is a good one. This should be called the Josh Hudson segment for the one guy that we're gonna bring up, because Josh had this guy ranked 2 before the year. He'll never live it down until next season when he makes another bad mistake. But we go year by year on this show.
Go big or go home, you know.
Yeah, you went home. You went home.
By the way, that dynasty team that beat your ass had Brian Thomas Jr. on it. Just rephrasing that. So
yeah, they also had Rashee Rice and Garrett Wilson who were on fucking IR, and so did they had Brock Bowers too.
Sucks to not have depth.
Fuck you, Raiders. Anyways, Kyler Murray, that guy sucks. Justin Fields, that guy sucks. Saquon Barkley, we told you don't draft him. We told you. That was a theme of the show. Ashton Genty. We were a little higher on Ashton Genty. The show liked Genty. Alvin Kamara. Kenneth Walker. Fuck you, Josh. Chuba Hubbard. It was fine the second half of the year. He did fuck all the first 12 games. So if you had him, he didn't help you get to the playoffs. But if you somehow managed to get him on your playoff team, he wasn't that bad. David Montgomery. Yikes. Big yikes. Isaiah Pacheco. Why do we still draft him? Why? Caleb Johnson. We'll all take a little L on that one.
Yeah,
all right.
I'll take a
we'll take a little L on that one. Joe Mixon. We told you
that was everybody else's fault. We told everybody to avoid him.
Justin Jefferson.
That's JJ McCarthy's fault.
Well, I can't really disagree with that. Brian Thomas Jr. Is that Trevor Lawrence's fault?
Nope.
No. It's Parker Washington's fault, guys. That's who it is.
Yeah.
Lad McConkey. I am blaming this on Justin Herbert. That guy can go fuck himself.
No, this is Keenan Allen's fault.
Listen, I will never blame my sweet prince. But yes, it is also Keenan Allen's fault. Okay. The most third down conversions in the NFL is 34-year-old Keenan Allen. What a king. First off, what an absolute fucking king. But we'll get to Lad later. Marvin Harrison.
Tough look for second-year wide receivers.
Yeah. DJ Moore.
No. Bad.
No, but that's the thing. He ended fine. He was just horrible for 11 weeks.
Yeah, I as the wide receiver drafted 20, I didn't feel like
he didn't. He didn't play to 20.
Yeah,
no, he did not.
did not.
Xavier Worthy.
Ooh, did we overbuy the Rashee Rice missing narrative?
Wow. Who could have guessed that?
Yeah, I was gonna say this show was not heavy in on this.
Fuck Xavier Worthy. Travis Hunter. We all said to cool it at the receiver.
I say this was a tough one for me to whether I should include him here or not. But the fact of the matter is, we were, and I actually wanted to include him because of the IDP aspect, Joe, because even in a league where I was starting him exclusively at corner, I didn't feel like I was getting value out of him.
No, you weren't getting value at all. He wasn't that good. He wasn't that good. Jerry Jeudy.
I told everybody to avoid him.
We've been telling everybody to avoid him for years. So Matthew Golden. Oh no, really, guys? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? A rookie wide receiver in a dog shit receiver room that never throws to the same guy every single week. Oh my God, no way. Keon Coleman. I wish though.
Healthy scratches. Come on.
Like I said, he's not playing his way out of Buffalo.
Yeah. TJ Hawkinson, tough. Mark Andrews. Yikes.
That's a tougher one.
Yikes. Evan Ingram. Yikes. David Njoku.
That's
Joe, I just want to quickly point out
too.
what the ADP of these four players were. Tight end 6, 7, 8, and 9.
This literal dead zone.
We always talk about it, the dead zone of tight ends.
Screaming about the tight end dead zone for ages. You go early or you go last. Plain and simple.
Yep.
And within that dead zone, we had mentioned multiple guys after the dead zone, including a Hunter Henry.
Yeah.
If you did want to throw a dart at Dallas Goedert, who ended up working.
Tucker Kraft
was the show's guy.
Because he was, I think, 10 or 11. He was right next to Dallas.
He was lower than that when we started doing the sleeper segments and stuff. And then he slowly
but as it got closer to the season. It's incredible there. We will go to, wow, there's so many. I really don't know who to start with here. I'm going to go Xavier Worthy because fuck that guy. I have been off Xavier Worthy since he ran the fastest time at the combine.
That was his greatest moment was Joe's red flag.
I was a day one hit because he came off and he's like, yeah, I'm not doing any drills. The fuck you mean you're not doing any drills?
Yeah.
So
he let his speed talk.
I was a day one hater. So continue, Josh.
Well, and you were also in Indy to witness that too.
Yes, that was cool.
Yeah, great point.
Very cool moment that I got to witness the fastest man ever at the combine. That I'm sure will be beaten in the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
But I got to witness the fastest man at the combine, which was cool. And then I immediately said, this guy's not going to do shit in the NFL. So anyways, continue.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was on Worthy, especially without Rice. I thought that he could take somewhat of a year 2 leap. Nope, not it. So look, he suffered a concussion week 1, didn't come back until week 4. So that was the first big like, fuck, Worthy's season is not going to be what some people hoped it would be. He did come out of that with 3 straight games over 10 plus points, so there was some level of promise. But he only had 2 more the rest of the season. Didn't have a single game with over 20 fantasy points. He only had 3 games with 8 or more targets. And his season high in receiving yards was 83, which came in week 4 without Rashee Rice.
Hey, what was his 40 time real quick?
4.21.
Okay, great. So deep threat, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
With 83 yards?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Continue.
I think it was on like 5 catches.
Not
Scored only
even-
1 touchdown all season. Again, not great. Very few times on this show have I ever said, all right, Joe, I'll give you one. I'll give you this one, Joe. But this is what I will say. We've seen Andy Reid work with wide receivers that are one-trick ponies.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can name Deshaun Jackson because I've never looked at Deshaun Jackson as a good route runner. That man had blazing speed and he could get by a defense. So this is me questioning, does Andy Reid's offense just not work anymore? Or is Worthy just not the answer? But I'm not 100% sure that both aren't true.
I can give you a couple of reasons. I think Andy Reid's offense is fine. I don't think that's the problem. Xavier Worthy is not the athlete, I think, that Deshaun Jackson was. And
Okay,
yes,
that's fair.
Xavier Worthy, blazing straight line speed. Deshaun Jackson, athlete.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
To
insane
be fair,
athlete.
the
Go
two
ahead,
guys
Ryan,
we've
before I
seen this
continue.
work with Andy Reid, Tyreek Hill, who was built like a brick.
Yep.
And while Deshaun Jackson was by no means thick, he was 2 inches shorter and 5 pounds heavier than
He was
Xavier
tough.
Worthy. Like he
tougher.
was a well-built individual. I don't think Xavier Worthy works in the NFL. And we saw it with John Ross before him, which
No.
was the comp. And I remember, was it Sam who comped to John Ross and someone went at her in our chat? I know you did as well, Joe, but
Yeah.
there was a female on our airwaves.
Probably
it may have
Sam.
been Linda, Sam, somebody made that comp and the chat went at her. Eat a dick. They were right on the fucking money. That is what
John
this
Ross.
kid is. He's a running back, folks.
And he's not even a good
I
one.
wouldn't
He's
even
not a
say
good one.
that, Yeah.
Here's the problem. If you put Xavier Worthy in this offense in 2020,
Exactly.
he'd be great.
Yeah, the
He'd
way
be
that
awesome.
they're doing these shell coverages now, like
that-
you're
I was
taking
gonna
hold
his
on,
the
biggest
hold
strength
on.
out of the equation.
It's not the shell coverages. Their quarterback can't throw the deep ball anymore.
Patrick Mahomes'
That's a
best
problem.
season was his first season
Like
as a starter.
this has been a problem. Even the
There-
back
well-
back half a little bit of 2024. Patrick Mahomes,
It's like they
looks-
neutered him. He doesn't want to do it. He can't do it.
Gee, when did this neutering start? When they brought back Matt Nagy.
Yeah.
Why are teams considering him
Matt
for head
Nagy
coaches?
getting head coach looks, you mean? Anyways,
It's almost like Eric Bieniemy should have just been happy to stay where he was. Maybe things would have been a little bit better in case.
I feel like Matt Nagy is also a Rooney Rule interview, but just to get the white guy out of the way.
The one thing I wanted to bring up that really bothered me about Worthy, though, like 12 and a half yards per catch. Like you're not
That's
even
not
doing what
deep.
you're
Yeah.
advertised to do. 12 and a half. That's my slot guy. What the
Yeah.
fuck are you doing?
Yeah, she's saying that's it. If Xavier Worthy's showing 12 and a half yards per catch.
And so, like, you're not good at what you're supposed to be good at. 1 touchdown receiving this season. Just like, I'm not going to bust his balls about the catch rate. His game doesn't lend itself to above a 60% catch rate.
No.
But the fact that the man had the same amount of targets as Hollywood Brown in the year 2025, that's a problem.
Rough. Yeah.
I think we need to take a because I saw there was like a rankings of like best quarterbacks not named Mahomes on some talk show very recently. Can we stop doing that? Because I think we really need to sit here and say he has regressed immensely from clearly being the number one quarterback.
But that's the thing is how legitimate is a list when you're leaving off the active leader in Super Bowl championships? You know what I mean? Like,
well, I agree with that. I agree with that.
I'm going to push back anyway. He's still a good fucking quarterback.
He is.
What good? He's top 10, probably top 5.
He is not what we had envisioned.
No,
7 years ago.
I need the list to stop being like best quarterbacks not named Mahomes. No. I would argue that Josh Allen as a quarterback is currently better than Patrick Mahomes.
Not even close. For you who likes to talk about what people have won, putting Josh Allen in the same conversation as Patrick Mahomes is sacrilege.
Skill-wise. I ain't talking wins or anything. I'm talking skill-wise.
As a thrower of the football, give me Patrick Mahomes 10 times out of 10.
Yeah. I would always argue that Aaron Rodgers is a better thrower of the football than Brady. He's not better than Brady, but he was a better thrower of the football than Brady. Aaron Rodgers is top 5 arm talent of all time. As much of a dick as he is, top 5 arm talent of all time.
Yeah.
But he's not better than Tom.
I will fully say that Patrick Mahomes is not where anybody expected him to be at this point in his career as a quarterback. He is still damn good at football.
100%. I just think we need to stop with the conversations of everyone that rank this list, but don't put Patrick Mahomes because he's clear number 1. Can we have a conversation first, please?
That's fair. I would say in this year, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah. Can we talk a little bit? Because I remember last time somebody broke out in his second year and we started putting him in number 1. Why the fuck ain't Drake May in these conversations then? If we're gonna play fucking devil's advocate, why isn't he there? Because he had better fucking numbers than anybody. Regardless, I don't really know who to go to here. Caleb Johnson feels yucky. Evan Ingram just kind of feels like a dick.
Let me quickly make my pitch for Justin Fields.
I was about to go to Justin Fields.
So I'll quickly knock Evan Ingram out. Evan Ingram was my I told you so. There's an article on Club Fantasy right now by your boy that says, don't buy the Evan Ingram hype. So told ya. But I was actually going to come back to this and apologize to Josh Hudson because Josh.
Really?
Yes, because in the offseason, I said there is no world where they are benching Justin Fields for Tyrod Taylor.
And
I guess I didn't know how bad it could actually get. I was very much wrong. So kudos to you, Josh, for putting up the fight there. Because I told you, because the argument, Josh, was, what if they're 0-6? They were. And I said, they're not going to fucking do it. They did.
They did. They did.
So that's where I wanted to go there. Very right on Evan Ingram. I won't say I was wrong on Fields. I just did not see the benching coming, which is the big reason he's on this list.
Josh, I saw your note. I want to hold because I want him to come up in the next segment because that's going to clearly fly into everyone. Listen, all of you have already said it. All of you have already said it in the chat. There's one guy that we all hate. Now, I didn't like him going into the season. I was not going to draft him again. He was too high. But we all know who that guy is. We've mentioned him a couple times. We're going to really mention him a lot to end the show.
He's basically the whole next segment.
He is the show, is essentially what that's who Brian Thomas Jr. is. He's the show. But we have to talk about other people before we really lay into Brian Thomas Jr. So this is least productive. This is production relative to offseason hype. Okay. This could be, this isn't necessarily ADP. This is also just offseason hype in general.
Yeah, I really focused on points per game here, fantasy points per game.
And this is points per game. This is not their finish that they were at. Your quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, 15 and 16, respectively. Baker Mayfield at 19, Fields at 20, Kyler Murray 22, Sam fucking Darnold, no, really? At QB 28, Tua Tagovailoa, you suck dick, at quarterback 35. Reminder, folks, there's 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. I wonder who told you this guy is a pile of shit. And I wonder which two fuckheads kept fighting me on it every fucking week. QB 35. Cam Ward, Sweet Prince. We hope you do better.
They got $100 million in cap space. It's wheels up. It's wheels up for Cam Ward next year.
Listen. I have faith. If you watch the games, he's not horrible. He has a good arm, makes good throws. We hope he doesn't develop bad habits.
There's just not a lot of talent around.
There's nothing. Not a lot.
Let me rephrase that. There's not a lot of developed talent around.
Yeah.
I like A. Maynor. I like DK.
But they're not ones.
But they're not ones, correct?
Like, I think one of them could grow into a solid 2 and the other could be a 3, 100%. Yep. They need a 1.
Yep.
Because we can't have A.O. Maynor, getting picked up by Christian Gonzalez. He's not catching a ball the whole game. He needs to be seeing Carlton Davis in coverage, and then he'll catch 5 to 7 balls a game. Not Cam Ward. Chuba Hubbard, RB44. We talked about horrible to start the season. Gave you some juice at the end, but he wasn't on your team at the end anyways. Bill Krosky Merritt.
Oops.
If only we called him.
I feel like Ryan put him on the list because Ryan bought the hype.
If only we called him Jacory, maybe he would have.
Exactly.
He would have had a better
name
season.
change,
Yep.
Isaiah Pacheco.
Told you.
We told you. I've been telling you since Stomper was drafted in the 7th round. Right? That guy runs like a fucking elephant. Anyways, Tank Bigsby.
The midseason trade killed him.
The trade killed him.
Yeah. Wasn't even mid-season. It was like early in the season.
It was right before week 1, wasn't it?
4.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Oh, was it during the season? Okay,
It was during
You're
the
right.
season.
Yeah, you're right.
3 and 4.
Yeah. Justin Jefferson, wide receiver 32. Little Lad McConkey, wide receiver 37. Marvin Harrison, 41. Mike Evans, 42. That also played injury. DJ Moore, 46. Brian Thomas Jr., 47. Imagine. I want you guys to imagine how bad of a season Ricky Pearsall had comparative to like where we were expecting. He was 1 point per game below Brian Thomas Jr.
One spot.
One spot.
Sorry,
Not
sorry, that's what I meant.
So they're probably not even a full point.
Yeah.
No, they were
Like a
probably
fraction of a point.
Yeah. Travis Hunter at 52, Downs 57, Keon Coleman at 60, which is how bad Xavier Worthy was. Keon Coleman had more points per game than Xavier Worthy. Light him up, folks.
Because Coleman didn't start as many games.
Cooper Kupp 67, 6'7. Jerry Jeudy 69, the nicest thing he's ever done. Jayden Reed 71, Calvin Ridley 72, Xavier Leggett at 79, Marvin Mims 81, Darnell Mooney 90. I'm gonna bask in this one real quick because another fast wide receiver that got drafted in the 1st round was a Matthew Golden, wide receiver 97.
Wow.
At least he waited till the playoffs to catch his first touchdown. I'll give him that.
That's fun.
I'll give him that.
Not the fantasy playoffs, folks.
No,
the
actual
NFL playoffs, where it doesn't matter. But if you listen to me, I would have said, don't draft this fuck. That's a bad idea. Colston Loveland, tight end 16. That feels weird considering.
Yeah, he caught. That's indicative of the first 10 weeks of the season.
Yep.
He caught fire late. Mark Andrews, 25. Yikes. TJ Hawkinson, 27. Yikes. David Njoku, 29. Yikes. Evan Ingram, 33. Everyone say it with me. Yikes. Isaiah Likely, 44.
Had to include him just because there was hype. Josh said hype. There was Isaiah Likely hype.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Big yikes.
Shout out Everett Kid. My dad wore number 44. So Isaiah Likely paying homage to Everett High's former leading rusher, Lou Zolo, all 5'6", 155 pounds of him back in 87. Actually, my apologies, Lou. Brian. I'm sorry, Isaiah Likely in Everett, Massachusetts guy. Maybe, we don't know. They import their players. We'll see. They do. Okay, man. Let's shit on Kyler Murray. Like we're all above him anyways, just in height. So let's just take a dump on him while he's beneath us. Is he good? I can't confirm.
You know what? I'm honestly at a point where we've already seen the best of Kyler Murray, right? Like his passing numbers were really so-so. If you actually like kind of extrapolate it and what, he was pacing towards, it was only 3,271 yards, 17 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Just from a passing standpoint, that's 178.84 fantasy points. Not great, honestly. His rushing, though, he was actually trending towards his best rushing season since 2020.
Yeah.
Projecting it would have been 98 rush attempts, 588 yards, a little over 3 rushing touchdowns.
But
you've put all that together, it's QB 13.
But we also have to include he's trending towards his best rushing season ever and gets hurt again. And it's like, okay, is this the problem?
Exactly. So he's a short arm quarterback, pun intended. Like, he's just not throwing for 37, 38, 3,900 yards like he was in the early part of his career. He's just going to move the sticks guy. But like, when you look at what Jacoby Brissett did and all that passing volume, 40 plus pass attempts per game, they had no running game. So Brissett had to throw, and Brissett isn't a running game. So let's say hypothetically, Kyler does stay healthy. He becomes their running game and still doesn't sniff those passing numbers. So not only are you getting an average fantasy quarterback, but you're not getting positional advantage Trey McBride. You're not getting Michael Wilson career breakout, but you are still getting shitty Marvin Harrison Jr. So,
well, that's
at least one thing stays constant here.
The most important thing to me is what happened to Trey McBride. And it's like, we can never go back. You can't ever do that to us.
I need a gunslinger with Trey McBride for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
And that's not Kyler Murray.
Jameis.
Yes.
Give me Jameis. I will take it all day.
20 touchdowns for Trey McBride.
And really, like, all this does is
20 tackles.
It just sets up for Kyler for 2026 because, yes, it's more than likely Arizona's done. Like, it's going to be a cap hit. It's going to be an issue, but they've got to move on. They're getting a new coach, new offensive system. Where he goes, you should not be expecting anything. Stop banking on this, quote, rushing upside. If this year proved anything, rushing upside is a fallacy.
Yeah.
You have to throw the football to be successful, not only in the NFL, but in fantasy football.
Yep. I have nothing to add, but my biggest concern about Kyler Murray is regression from Trey McBride. So please just keep him out of Arizona.
One more guy we'll get to before our ultimate finish.
Coupe de grace.
Yeah. What does that mean, Ryan?
Grace Cup.
Kill shot, right? Coup de grace. No?
0 chance. That means kill in French is 2A.
That's what Eminem named his thing and said coup de grace is the final shot right between the eyes, also known as the kill shot. That's what opens the song.
It does mean it is a term for a final blow. You're absolutely right. That is not the French translation. I can tell you that right now. So.
Okay, so I was right. Anyways, Marvin Mims. I know you guys were slightly higher on Mims than I was because I'm a Cortland Sutton stan for life. Fuck you, Josh. Get off
this
the
is
train.
Josh's fault. I was gonna say Josh.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll own up to this, and I highlighted both Leggett and Mims because to me they were the same guy. They were in line to be the second target in their offenses. Maybe they would have a shot. Obviously, the Denver passing game was a hell of a lot better than the Panthers passing game. Fun fact: only one player on the Panthers had more than 400 receiving yards.
Tedaroa McMillan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Leggett still technically was the wide receiver too, but Jalen Coker started to catch on towards the end of the year after coming back. So really it's very blurred lines when you look at how Leggett fits into what Carolina wants to do going forward, because he was drafted as a raw prospect. 2 years in, he hasn't gotten much better. Maybe he takes a third-year leap, but I'm not banking on it at this point.
Say the draft capital for the Panthers to be like, he's a raw prospect. Don't blow a first fucking round pick on him when you already have a struggling quarterback.
But that was the same sentiment that I had with Marvin Mims. These are late-round dart throws. So, like, I'm not looking at these guys as, like, least valuable by any means because you were taking them past the 10th round in most of your drafts. But the fact that, hey, I'm spending all those late-round picks on them when I probably missed on somebody like Rico Dowdle or Javonte Williams, it hurts you in the long run, right?
That's kind of what I was going with this, because I did last week. I didn't include a lot of names, and this week I included too many names. So I'll find a happy medium next time.
Yeah, but like Marvin Mims got completely lapped by Troy Franklin. Mims had 51 targets. Troy Franklin had 104.
Yeah, so silly me for thinking Sean Payton would actually, do the right thing.
Yeah, right. So
silly me.
Yeah.
Anyways,
not great, but is what it is.
We now get to the nominees for LVP of the 2025 NFL season. The nominees are as follows. Number 18 on the Minnesota Vikings, wide receiver Justin Jefferson.
Who we really haven't talked about much in this show, by the way.
No, we did spend the entire second half of the season talking about how he was an unstartable fantasy asset, but there's just one problem. There's another person who exists.
At quarterback, number 8 for your Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
A number that I don't even know because he played nothing. For your Pittsburgh Steelers, running back out of Iowa, Caleb Johnson.
For a guy, and honestly, the upside, like when you look at how Jaylen Warren and Kenny Gainwell finished, the upside was there. One fumble on a kickoff where he should have never been returning kicks basically put him on the bench. This was my fun note, Joe, that I had. 28 rush attempts for 69 yards.
Nice.
That's a Christian McCaffrey stat line in 2025 without the receiving work. And he did it over a full season. That is so bad.
Wow. Dog status.
So bad.
Along those same lines, not least valuable player. I did not get a chance to mention this on last week's episode. Do you guys know how many rushing yards Matt Stafford had this year?
-2, right?
One.
He had one.
1 yard on 29 carries. His average yard per carry is 0.
That's what we like to call a running threat.
I was so taken aback when I saw that prepping for last week's show.
Somehow better than Xavier Worthy. It's just
that's the damn truth.
Somehow better. And finally, your final nominee for LVP of the 2025 NFL season. He wears number 1 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It goes by the name of Brian Thomas Jr.
Where's number 7, actually?
Oh, yeah. See, that's how fucking irrelevant he is. And your winner of the 2025 LVP, coming in at wide receiver 47 in points per game with an ADP of 8 consensus and 2 for Josh Hudson, Brian Thomas Jr.
So I'm going to quickly jump in here and just let people know our thought process that we worked out through chat. Joe said it can't be Ladd McConkey because I'm Joe Zolo.
No, can I give my stats? Can I give my stats?
I was going to say, Joe, you made the best argument, but the main reason, you know what, Joe, go ahead and say your thing of why
I would like to make my argument. Yeah. I would like to make my argument. Thank you very much. So we were between 3 guys, and I'm looking down because I'm pulling up all my stats here.
Yeah.
We were between 3 guys. We were between Brian
and
Thomas
we were
Jr.
ready to settle on Justin Jefferson.
We were.
Joe brought us to reality.
BTJ, Justin Jefferson, Ladd McConkey. I had the best argument. Here's the argument. And I'm going to defend Ladd McConkey in this as well. Brian Thomas Jr. had 5 double-digit games all season. 1 game over 20. Justin Jefferson, as not great as he was comparative to draft slot, did have 10 double-digit games. 2 games over 20. Ladd McConkey, 8 double-digit games, 3 games over 20. And something I want to bring up, that why I don't believe this is a Ladd McConkey issue. This is a both Keenan Allen issue, because that came back, but a Justin Herbert issue.
And someone in the chat brought up a Greg Roman issue.
Greg Roman issue as well. Ladd McConkey in 2024 had 112 targets. He had 106 this year. He caught 7 touchdowns in 2024. He caught 6 this year. So let's just play the argument that he had 6 more targets, probably would have had another touchdown. Also, Justin Herbert missed him wide fucking open in the back of the end zone, so he should have had 7 touchdowns. I'm continuing my case. Ladd McConkey pretty much had the same targets and same touchdowns. Let's add in that touchdown that Herbert just fucking missed. That's 7 right there, just to make it even. He had 400 less yards? As far as I'm concerned, that's not a Ladd McConkey issue.
Yeah.
That is an offense issue. That is a quarterback issue.
Well, it was an offensive line issue. That like you lose your 2 starting tackles, one of them before the season even starts, the other one in the middle of the season. That offensive line was so decimated, they had to get rid of the ball quicker. Plays couldn't develop.
You have to get Will Dissly and Tyler Conklin on the field to play a second tackle position, essentially. So
that's why I listen.
No, and then where we really landed on this was Josh brought up the point, and you said it earlier in the show, Josh. Justin Jefferson is more of a JJ McCarthy problem.
Yep.
And a Max Brosmer problem.
And what clicked for me, Josh, was when we were talking about this, is it's not like anybody outshined Justin Jefferson. That was just a problem.
And he still had 1,000 yards too. Let's not forget that.
And then you get to Brian Thomas Jr. It's not a quarterback issue.
Career year for Trevor Lawrence.
And he was outshined by multiple players on his own team. Thus, your least valuable player.
Parker Washington had 2 100-yard receiving games in the final, 3 weeks of the season, and actually had a 100-yard receiving game in the first week of the playoffs.
Yep.
How about
Brian Thomas Jr. had 0.
How about Jacoby Myers coming in, not knowing the offense, and being better than him?
Yep.
I think the point we haven't looked at, Brian Thomas Jr. did not put up the worst numbers you've ever seen. I'm going to read them out here real quick. And I'm not doing this to defend him. Let me be very clear. 91 targets. Now, this is where it gets ugly. 52% catch rate, 48 catches, 700 yards, 2 touchdowns plus a rushing touchdown.
He had the exact same yards per reception as last season. So his game really didn't change.
No. But where we maybe need to be a little bit more worried going into next season, they just locked up Jacoby Myers. Parker Washington should still be on one more year, I think.
The next year will be his 4th year on last year of his rookie contract.
And then you get Travis Hunter back, who they just came out today and said is playing both sides of the ball again. There's a chance Brian Thomas Jr. is worse in 2026. And I don't know how bad it could have been this year if Travis Hunter doesn't get hurt. And that is a problem.
So this is a big point that I wanted to bring up. So last year, Brian Thomas Jr., the way that he caught fire, garbage time, all this stuff, that was Michael Wilson this year. Okay.
So don't overdraft Michael Wilson next year.
Well, I mean, that's...
No.
Wide
receiver 12, Michael Wilson.
But what I'm ultimately trying to get at here is, like, you see what Brian Thomas Jr. did in 2024 in garbage time. Stakes aren't very high. This year, they're winning games, worst to first. They're using him basically as a glorified deep threat. He went from 10 touchdowns in 2024 to 3 total touchdowns this year, one of which was a rushing touchdown on a jet sweep. I think it was in like week 3.
Well, Josh, there's another point that we haven't hit yet. And we've talked about it on this show numerous times. Brian Thomas Jr. played his best football with Mac Jones, not with Trevor Lawrence.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, like, you're going to see trade rumors around Brian Thomas Jr. this offseason. Because, again, they locked up Jacoby Myers. You saw what Parker Washington was able to do in this offense. You get Travis Hunter back next season. It's clear they want to play him at wide receiver. Like, very few games was he on the defensive side of the ball more than the offensive side of the ball. Like, they're lining him up to play offense. At that point, where does Brian Thomas Jr. fit?
Yeah.
He's just
With
a big
Drake
body.
May in New England.
And maybe that is the case. But there's plenty of teams that could use a wide receiver 1. I know they're not going to trade him in division to Tennessee. But
Tennessee.
You know, maybe you look at NFC because they want to not face them potentially twice a year or whatever it is. Like, there's going to be a lot of talk around Brian Thomas Jr. And it comes up all the time when I'm thinking in Dynasty, because I have Brian Thomas Jr. on a couple teams, and I'm like, which Brian Thomas Jr. is the real Brian Thomas Jr.?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, again, like, you don't go out and have 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns on a fluke.
Mistake.
Like, that's not especially your rookie season. That's not a mistake. So then to follow it up with 90 like he literally had less than half the total fantasy points that he had in his rookie season. That's just unfathomable to me, the type of fall off. And he only missed 3 games. Like, I don't think this injury affected him all season long. But again, I could very well be wrong on that.
The only guy I can think of that immediately came to mind of had one baller year. And again, not like what BTJ stats in general, like they like relative to where he was drafted, not good. But in terms of like NFL wide receiver, it's not horrendous. You want to see more touchdowns. You want to see better catch rate, but it's not horrendous. The first guy that came to mind as you were going through that, I'm like, Brandon Lloyd. Yeah.
But again, you're not talking about how good he was his rookie season.
No, Brandon Lloyd did that when he was 29. He was up, had 1,400 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns on 153 targets, 77 catches. That's a 50% catch rate.
Yeah,
that was Brandon.
Like Kyle Orton in Denver or something. Or was that
I have no idea. I have no idea who his quarterback was. I'll check that in a sec. But it was his catch percentage for his career, 48%. Brandon Lloyd. So like not high, but also that's because he was a deep threat. And if you ever watched Brandon Lloyd play, he didn't drop anything.
He made some of the filthiest catches.
He made some of the most disgusting catches on planet Earth. But he had one baller season. The next year he goes for 966. Then he goes for 911 in New England. But that was when he was age 29, 30, and 31. Before that, he never cracked 750. And then after that, he played one more year in San Francisco to finish out his career, had 294. But before that year in 2010, 7-8 years into his career, he never eclipsed 750 yards. Yeah. Which is weird. Brian Thomas Jr. did it 1 year and then just fell.
I did go look. Thomas was not a slouch with Trevor Lawrence his rookie year. 1 through 9 is Lawrence's like main starts last year. Thomas was the wide receiver 11 in PPR, 14 points per game. What really changed everyone's perspective, though, the Mac Jones, he jumped up to 23 points per game with Mac Jones. And I guess this does go back to Josh's argument, though. It's garbage time, and it's garbage time with Mac Jones, who's like, fuck it. Brian Thomas is out there somewhere and was willing to pepper him with targets. That is not the world we live in anymore.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, too, is like your backup quarterbacks, what do they have to lose?
Yeah. And the target numbers
tell like they're going to get benched when their team's not winning. Like, who else are you going to turn to?
Yeah. Like the target numbers tell the story when I was looking at this, because when I was looking, let me get back to 2024. This tells the story. Brian Thomas Jr. in no game with Trevor Lawrence in his career had double-digit targets. From week 13 on with Mac Jones was double-digit targets every single game.
BTJ did have 2 games this season with 10 or more targets.
Okay. I was hoping that wasn't the case, so that destroys my point as I'm making it. But at least
I mean, still,
year,
that's But both those games, if I'm not mistaken, because I went through it quickly, that was before Jacoby Myers even got there.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. But in his rookie year,
and one of those games, he had 12 targets and 3 catches.
I do remember that. But yeah, it all just kind of ties together mainly to Josh's point. The 2024 Jaguars are not the 2025 Jaguars.
Yep.
I just went on a Brandon Lloyd deep dive here just to make more comparisons.
I fully intend on going on a YouTube highlight reel when we get off the show.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
He came across my TikTok timeline like a month or 2 ago. I watched the whole 7-minute video. I'm like, yep, this is.
It was so fun.
I'm getting a lot of NBA like throwbacks. I just got an Andrew Bogut highlight reel the other day. What a pull. What an absolute fun. There was Danny Granger the week before. Yeah. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Anyways, just to give you the idea of Brandon Lloyd and the comparison here to Brian Thomas Jr. that we're trying to make. Trevor Lawrence, career season. It's not even close to anything he's ever done. Brandon Lloyd had not only Kyle Orton throwing him the football.
I was right. Okay.
Nice job, Josh.
During the fantasy football playoffs.
I love that we are discussing players that our audience has no idea who they are.
They know. No, they're old enough to know.
I Joe, the fact that you know these guys, but he did play for the Patriots. So,
well, yeah, I knew Brandon Lloyd when he was a Bronco. Do you want to know who his quarterback was during the fantasy football playoffs?
Tebow.
Tim Tebow. with Tim Tebow, Brandon Lloyd scored the same amount of touchdowns in 3 weeks as Brian Thomas Jr. did all season. With Tim Tebow,
who didn't throw the amount of touchdowns in his career that Trevor Lawrence threw in the last 3 games this season.
Like, Tim Tebow, he was 4 for 79 in the touchdown, 5 for 111. He had 111 fucking receiving yards with Tim Tebow, and then he was 5 for 73 in a touchdown. What happened to Brian Thomas Jr.? What happened?
I have no idea.
That's crazy. Just
Shit
absolutely insane. So,
and like I said, Josh, you mentioned it earlier, and I'm not trying to call you out here, but you said, go buy Brian Thomas Jr. I'm not sure it gets better.
I have hopes that, like, if he comes to New England, it does.
I mean, well, okay, but again, I said sell CMC. How many more great years do you think CMC is going to have?
Maybe one.
Quite possibly 0.3.
And that's kind of my point. Like, I don't know that you're really losing much if you say, all right, I'm going to deal CMC right. to bank on maybe we get rookie year Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, maybe one. Who knows? All right. We'll wrap up, of course, like we did last week, with little quick predictions for the divisional round. I would like to give a fuck you. They didn't win, but everybody laughed when I said the Panthers had a chance, and they gave the Rams 100%. A game. They gave the Rams a game.
I said I wanted to believe in the Panthers.
Josh immediately texted me, so much for a boat race, Ryan.
Well, my parlay hit. I had the Panthers plus 10.5.
I was gonna say I took the Panthers spread and I won on.
I had the Panthers plus 10.5, Puka anytime, and then the Bears, cardiac Bears, DJ Moore anytime touchdown, Bears minus 1.5. Shout out!
I round robin my money line picks and got 5 out of 6 right. Tripled my money on round robins. So
there we go. All right, coming up in the quarterfinals here of the NFL playoffs, Bills Broncos. Ryan.
Oh, I'm going the Broncos. I know it's stupid. Josh Allen seems to have been listening to Josh Hudson and understands that this is his shot, but I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos and stick with my priors.
Josh,
that Broncos defense can bend, and not in a good way. I'm taking Josh Allen. It's not going to be easy going into Mile High. I'm taking Josh Allen.
I'm believing the Bills because I would like to host a home game in the AFC Championship. So go Bills.
Well, and we'll get to that game in a bit.
I'm about to poke every hole in your fucking theory. Don't you worry. 49ers Seahawks. Ryan.
Sticking with my priors, and I understand they lost George Kittle, but I still see the Seahawks as a team that is beatable, a team that may not be able to put up the offense and keep up with Christian McCaffrey. I understand it's JSN versus Christian McCaffrey, but it's also Brock Purdy versus Sam Darnold. I'm going to take the 49ers on the road.
Josh.
49ers just scored 3 points against this team like 2 weeks ago. Seattle, every time they've had the one.
Where was that game? Where was that game?
It's the opposite thing, right?
Was that in San Francisco?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Because guess who won?
Oh yeah, that was Joe's like whole theory that week.
Guess who won in Seattle? Or go look at the games.
No, I mean,
go look at the games. It's everywhere except Arizona. Arizona just sucks. It's everywhere outside of that stadium.
I'll bank on the fact that the Seahawks have made it to the Super Bowl every time they've been the 1 seed. I'm not betting on the 49ers. Mostly because I'm bitter, but I'll take the Seahawks.
I am betting against Sam Darnold. That's what I'm betting against.
That's Ryan as well.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Rams Bears. Ryan.
Again, sticking with my priors, I said Rams. I think they are a far better team.
How many priors do you have? Should I call my local police department?
I told you I got every game right except for the Bills Jags, and
how's your exposure rate to Christian Kirk, or as someone called him on national television, Charlie Kirk?
Well,
did you guys see that?
No, I did not see that.
You didn't see that? Oh,
but I will say my exposure rate to Christian Kirk looks fantastic after week 1 of the playoffs. Too bad you don't get credit for that. But once again, I called the Rams to win this game. I called the Rams, I believe, to be the Super Bowl representative. I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams.
Josh.
I want to take the Rams.
I do too.
But man, Stafford is so bad in cold weather.
It's a warm weather team going cold, and I
don't
take the
love
cold
it.
Team.
I don't.
I'll take the cold team.
But I don't trust Caleb Williams.
I don't either. So what
Don't.
what domino is falling here, Josh?
I'm going to take the Rams by 3. That's what I'm going to. I'm going to take the Rams by 3.
Thicker
Again?
kicker, baby. Sign me up, Harris. You know what? I'll follow that too. Yeah, fuck you, Chicago. Harrison Mevis, game winner. Book it. But okay, so as we go,
wait, Ryan, you taking the Bears? You said
No, I said Rams.
Okay.
Rams are my NFC.
All right, so all Rams. I will. So I want to. Because we're going to the Texans Patriots. I can't believe you guys didn't see this on First Take. Stephen
I
A.
don't watch
Smith.
First Take. That's
No,
why I
it's
didn't
fine.
see it.
Hey, I don't watch First Take either. I just saw it
I
everywhere on
saw
Twitter.
a reaction to this and didn't know what it was about literally before we got on the show today.
Stephen A. Smith was going through the game, and he said, I forget the exact sentence, but he was listing off Kirk's stats. And he says, we saw Charlie Kirk go 7 catches for 143 and kept going in the sentence. And it took him like 5 seconds to realize what he said. So I had to believe the producer was in his ear like, what the fuck did you just say? No. Yeah, so he said Charlie Kirk.
Yikes.
Tough look, Stephen A.
Yeah.
Anyways, as we talk about the Texans and Patriots, Ryan.
Oh, it's the Patriots. Again, my Super Bowl prediction. I have money on this game. Rams versus Patriots was my Super Bowl prediction. I'm sticking with it.
Josh.
If Nico Collins clears concussion protocol, that's the only way I feel comfortable taking the Texans in this game.
Why? He's going to see Christian Gonzalez.
That does not matter to me. It
does to me. Did you
doesn't.
watch him last week?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, great. So it's 2 guys coming out of concussion protocol. I'll take the corner. That's locked down. Thank you.
Well, but here's the difference, though. Nico has one less game to come back. That's why I don't think he actually plays. That's going to be the detriment to the Texans. I'm going to go the Patriots.
That's the detriment to the Texans, not the fact that they're in freezing cold weather and CJ Stroud doesn't know what football is anymore.
No.
It's Nico Collins.
The defense, man. That Texans defense, they're legit.
And
they're legit.
I agree
and they're
with
better
that.
than the Patriots.
I
and
agree.
I know that you know that.
I agree with. I'm not disagreeing with that statement. Do you know how many times we had a shitty defense that still won?
Oh no.
Yeah, that beat really good defenses because our offense was better.
But that's the problem. The Texans without Nico, their offense literally has no juice, in my opinion. Like you're not going to get
Their
7 for
offense-
144 from Kirk again.
Their offense with CJ Stroud has no juice.
Well, this was like a notoriously bad game for Stroud.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because why, Josh? It was a warm weather
The
team.
dude played at Ohio State. That does not matter to me. I'm not worried about that.
2 straight years in a dome. 3 straight years in a dome.
He was hurt for half.
Also, let's be real. He wasn't playing at Ohio State past Thanksgiving.
Yeah, got to go to warm weather places.
I'm sorry. January weather, snow, wind in Foxborough, Massachusetts is slightly different than Thanksgiving weather.
I already said I'm
in
taking the Patriots.
Columbus,
Just
Ohio.
make your fucking point.
We haven't really hit on this, but Austin and I just did the DFS show. The over-under for that game as of this moment is 40.5.
It's lower.
Oh, did it go down?
I would take
No,
the
I'm
under.
just saying I'm taking.
Oh,
the
you're taking
I
the
would
under.
take
Gotcha.
Here's my thought. If the Patriots can put up 16, they win.
Seems so.
Because do I think the Patriots defense is comparable to Houston? Not even close. Not even a little bit. But Houston's O-line is bad. CJ Stroud can't figure it the fuck out. If you watch that game against the Chargers, Zach Kerr literally said block 6 for the entire fourth quarter. They're like, we don't believe you can figure us out, so we're going to send 6 every single time. Figure it out. And they couldn't. And Herbert literally could not figure it out. So I think that's what is going to end up happening later on in the game is they're going to just rush 6 every fucking time. And CJ Stroud's going to have no time to throw the football. And we all know Houston can't run. They can't
Woody
run.
Marks had over 100 yards.
Woody Marks looked good last week.
Okay. Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, Robert Spillane. I would like to introduce you to them. Okay.
No,
not 38-year-old Cam
I'm
Hayward.
I'm not saying that they're
No, I
not
know.
going to be able to run on the Patriots, but you're basically saying they can't run. They literally just had a 100-yard rusher. That's the point of it.
I love that we turned this into a fight where we're all picking the Patriots.
Yeah. I just
Joe
want
just wants to fight. That's
Exactly.
why.
because listen, everybody is like, oh, it's the Texans, easy. Can we look at the whole fucking picture, please? Can we look at everything? Like, yes, the Texans defense is better than the Patriots. It's not even
You
close.
know what? If they score 2 touchdowns, that might be the difference.
If the Patriots do?
No, the Texans defense is what I'm getting at.
Potentially, yeah. Listen, if Drake May goes loosey-goosey like he fucking did last week, I'm going to, run into traffic. But I guarantee.
And that's really what I'm getting at here. Like, we're talking about Drake May that, like, oh, he's going to be fine. He got sacked 5 times and scrambled. And that Texans defense isn't going to allow him to do that.
Yeah, say
66 that's what I'm getting at. Drake May did not play a good game against a good Chargers defense.
No.
And now faces a better defense.
His second half was fine. His second half was good. His first half was atrocious. That was not fun. That was not fun to watch. His second half was fine. I think he threw
and that's
2
where, and that's why I'm saying the difference to me is if Nico Collins plays. If Nico plays, I will take the Texans. I just don't think that Nico is going to play, and that puts the Texans at a market disadvantage.
Oh, yeah.
You're taking the best player in this game out of the equation.
Yeah. Ramondre Stevenson. Okay. He's a good player. I mean, he's obviously not the best player, but he's a good player. His contact balance goes crazy. If only Ashton Genty had a semi-decent line, that's what Ashton Genty would look like, guys, just in case you're wondering. So Josh needs a gummy, says Joe. I agree, Joe.
Joe needs the gummy. We picked his team, and he is fighting with us.
Yeah, I don't know. Josh putting up stupid points. I don't know. Just let me live my life. Let me live it. Next week, 2025 lessons learned. Don't put Brian Thomas Jr. ranked number 2 in your preseason rankings. Guys, hey, I can guarantee you he's not going to be there this year.
He may not make the top 24, quite honestly.
Yeah,
he's not going to be there this year. I can tell you that.
He won't even be the second-ranked player or receiver on his own team.
It might not be the third-ranked receiver on his own team.
But that'll be our biggest takeaways from 2025 and the lessons. How many of the lessons are worth taking into 2026?
Yeah.
0 RB, death. So happy. We're going to take that riding into 2026. I was never on that train, but I'm happy it died, right? I'm happy I never boarded the train because it hit the mountain. Whereas the heavy RB train, we're pushing through, baby.
Yeah, through the mountain every time.
We're pushing the mountain every single time. Again, every week's show, make sure you subscribed on YouTube and follow Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast. Again, all year long. I may not be here every week. Josh may not be here every week. Ryan may not be here every week. But this show will be here for you every single week. Mr. Miyagi, Wexa on, Wexa off, as Ryan just did. Boom. Joe says we're going to BTJ on our next breakout show, like in live in person. I don't think we can do that. I think if we ask,
spent all show shitting on him. I don't think he'll ever make an appearance.
Hello, Brian Thomas Jr.'s agent. We would like him on the show. Here's a quick 5-minute segment we did on him. Would he be interested?
Not like he played football this year. Yes.
Yeah. We'd like to ask him lifestyle questions because we know he's not good at his job. So we figured we'd deflect and just ask him about, personal life, expectations post-football, which seems to be right now.
Yeah, coming up very quickly.
Yeah, coming up real quick. And again, DFS, check out the plethora of DFS videos Ryan, Josh, Austin drop over the next month because, again, you can still play some fantasy football if you'd like throughout the NFL playoffs. All right. For Josh, Ryan, myself, you can follow Club Fantasy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Club Fantasy FFL, the URL, clubfantasyffl.com. Always remember, defense wins championships. Offense wins fantasy football. We will see you next